Right, so I wanted to talk about the news that UKIP today have Paul Nuttall, the leader of UKIP, has been talking about what they're going to be bringing out in terms of election manifesto for the coming elections in June. Um, and he was talking about banning the burqa today. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of on the fence. Not kind of. I don't think it will do an awful lot. I don't think it'll make a massive difference. Also, when I first heard it, I was thinking, is that all the head, all veils, or but no. But apparently, it just seems to be the burqa, which, if you don't know, it just the one that covers the eyes, the in which the full face is covered. Unlike the hijab, of course, you have the full face. I think the hijab is fair enough to some extent. You can at least see the full face. Maybe the niqab, that's the one where you can see the eyes. Maybe that one could also be tied into it with the burqa to be banned, because I mean they already have it banned in some other countries. In France, was certain parts of Italy, I believe, or was it all of Italy? And Germany have been toying with the idea. Belgium, in Bulgaria, they have it now. Apparently, due to the fact that it covering the face, I think security. I think it does make sense to some extent. Yeah, they've got it in Belgium as well, apparently. Only around 30 women wear this kind of veil in Belgium out of a Muslim population of 500,000. So, yeah, this is what they were saying when they did that in Belgium, and that was 6 years ago or whatever, nearly 7 years ago, 6 years ago. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people this will actually apply to. What's the Muslim population of the UK is around 4 million. It's on the rise, obviously, but you've got. So, but how many Muslim women say there's 2 million Muslim women in the UK? How many of them wear the full on burqa? I can't say I've seen many at home in Britain. I can't say I've seen many. I'm not sure if I've seen any. I don't think I've seen that many niqabs. So I mean, you see plenty of not burqas, the hijab. The hijab is the most common, of course, and I think that's probably the most agreeable one. I think you could probably ban the other two, the niqab and the burqa. You could probably ban them based on the fact of security, and I understand it from that point. But when you start grinding down the numbers and saying, well, if there was only 30 women in freaking Belgium, as I said, they had half a million out of a population of 500,000, only 30 women wearing this kind of veil. It kind of seems it's kind of more symbolic than anything else. So it doesn't seem like it'll actually make much of a difference. And also, not only, I don't want to just talk about the burqa, of course, but that was one of the main ones. It's one of the more divisive ones, which it seems a bit pointless as it applies to so few people. It's almost not even worth mentioning. Although of course, he knows what he's doing. He's scoring points with the anti-Islam. I'm not going to say Islamophobic. I guess it is kind of the anti-Islam sort of security conscious as well. We will win some people who are worried about security and stuff over as well as the Islamic anti-Islam voters or whatever. But I guess they already kind of have somewhat at the core of that. But also using that as a tool towards integration, which I don't know how much that would really make a difference. They'll just wear the hijab, and I don't have any problem with that. As I've said, I think the hijab is probably the lesser of the three. How many? Three evils? The two evils, I guess. If you compare it to the other two, the niqab and the burqa, it's better than them two, let's say. Right, and the other thing they wanted to do, they're trying to pledge to get rid of the Sharia courts, which you can't really argue with, but I would also argue they should get rid of the Jew courts. The what were they called? Although he did make the point that the Jewish courts were, of course, the Orthodox Jewish population is very, very small. But he said that the Beth Din Jewish rabbinical courts would not be affected because they were established for centuries, and the Orthodox Jewish I mean, I don't know how big the Orthodox Jewish population in Britain is. The Jewish population is fairly small, less than 500,000. Yeah, I mean, in terms of all of this, it's as I say with the what was it? As I say with when it comes to the burqa, the amount of people it's gonna affect is very low. As I said, and the Sharia court thing is important. I understand that. The Jewish population in the UK is 269,000, and I don't know how many out of that is Orthodox. That'll be even less. That's going down because I guess they're all moving to Israel or whatever. But I would also, for the sake of equality, get rid of the Jew courts as well. Which I don't know how bad they are, but I know how it'll probably be somewhere similar. Well, yeah, you know how women are thought of in Judaism as a similar level to the way women are thought of in Islam. So I don't see why making it any excuse for the Jews on that one. Although I don't know, maybe the UKIP supporters are more pro-Jewish. Maybe they are. But I think I would get rid of that as well. Sharia law, I would certainly try and prevent that from happening. A parallel law within your own country, I don't like the idea of that. And I don't know what excuse anyone could make for having that. Whereas with the burqa, yeah, you've got people. The thing is, when people hear the burqa, they think of all the other things. They think of the hijab. Whereas no one's saying ban the hijab. Maybe they are, but I think they're trying to take it in little steps. But as I said, it makes absolutely no difference if the number of people actually wearing it is literally none. Unless, I honestly don't know. It's difficult. I don't see what difference that's gonna actually make. He might win him some votes, trying to being seen as having a hard line against not moderate. Not moderate is burqa is an extreme Islam. It's fairly, I don't know, very conservative Islam, let's just say. And Sharia law, obviously, there's not really an awful lot to argue there with. So yeah, interesting. And also it's St. George's Day, so that's been good, a good thing. Hopefully that some people will actually celebrate it. And obviously the French elections going on, it seems very close as well. Hopefully Le Pen gets through. She would obviously take a good strong stand on these types of things. Hopefully it wouldn't just be symbolic like this appears to be. It's more of a symbolic thing. And I didn't really get into integration. One of the things, I don't know what a great difference that would make in terms of integration. And they're saying 58% of Muslim women are saying that being hidden behind the veil contributed to 58% of Muslim women being economically inactive. Well, I don't think so. I think they're just more traditional in their ways, and I wish we were more traditional in a lot of ways. Not in bad way, but there's nothing wrong with the woman being a stay-at-home mother. I think that's definitely a good thing about Islam, and I think people always try and look for the bad things. I think there's certain good things that we can take from another culture that is has similarities to our culture and what our culture used to be like, in terms of the family and the roles within the family are largely similar. So from that point, I think we could learn something from them, and obviously they can learn from us too. I think that's how these things work. In terms of integration, I might make another video about integration. Whether it's actually a good thing, whether you actually want it. Obviously, you need people to function in a society. People need to speak the same language, but beyond that, do they need to embrace fully the culture? Whether it's possible for them to be anyone to be fully integrated. Of course, it's possible on an individual, but like large groups, not always. It doesn't have to happen. Doesn't always have to be like that. But tell me what you think about this, all the ban the burqa, whether it's just symbolic, whether it's a waste of time. That's just what I think. But interesting thought there. And it'll be interesting to see what else UKIP and the other parties come up with, whether they'll come up with anything actually useful, or whether it'll just be symbolic things to win points,
Shot, I was standing in the street.